I never thought I'd end up in a federal courtroom. Handcuffs biting into my wrists, staring down a judge who looked like he'd rather be golfing than sentencing me to 15 years for embezzlement I didn't commit. My sister,
Elena.
sat in the back row, her designer heels crossed elegantly, mouthing, "I'm sorry," with those plump lips that had always gotten her out of everything, except this time, she wasn't sorry at all. And as the gavel cracked like a gunshot, I realized the real crime wasn't the money. It was the blood tie that bound me to the monster who'd framed me to save her own skin. That was 3 years ago, back when I was Josephine Jo Harlan, the reliable big sister from a crumbling Rust Belt town in Ohio. The one who fixed everyone's messes.
Now,
I'm Joe the Ghost, slipping through the cracks of America's underbelly, plotting a revenge so cold it could freeze the Detroit River. But let's rewind to the night it all shattered, the family party where Elena called me the failure in front of everyone. And her boss, Victor Kane, smiled like he'd just won the lottery on my misery. It was Thanksgiving, 2022, in our parents' sagging colonial in Cleveland suburbs, the kind of house with faded wallpaper and a kitchen that smelled eternally of pot roast and regret. Mom had outdone herself, turkey carved into uneven slabs, cranberry sauce from a can, and pies from the grocery store because her arthritis made rolling dough a pipe dream. Dad was nursing his third Budweiser, rambling about the Steelers' glory days, while aunts and uncles crammed into the den, laughing too loud over highballs to drown out the unspoken failures of their own kids. Elena arrived fashionably late, sweeping in like she owned the place, which, in a way, she did now. At 32, she was the golden child, VP at Kane Financial in downtown Cleveland, rubbing elbows with the elite who summered in the Hamptons and wintered in Aspen. Her hair was a glossy bob, her laugh a tinkling bell that masked the serpent underneath.
Me?
I was 35, scraping by as a paralegal in a firm that specialized in slip-and-fall cases, living in a one-bedroom walk-up where the heat flickered like a bad Tinder date. The party was in full swing when Elena cornered me by the dessert table. I just refilled my plastic cup with cheap Merlot, trying to ignore the way Cousin Timmy eyed me like yesterday's news. "Joe," she hissed, her voice low and laced with that fake concern she reserved for board meetings. "You look exhausted." Still chasing ambulances. I forced a smile, the one I'd practiced in the mirror after our last fight. "Bills don't pay themselves, Lena. Unlike your expense account." She laughed, but it didn't reach her eyes, those sharp hazel orbs that could spot weakness like a hawk on a field mouse. Then she leaned in, her breath minty from the gum she'd chewed to cover the cigarettes she swore she'd quit.
God. Joe.
"You're such the failure. Always have been. Mom and Dad deserve better than your sob stories." The room didn't go silent because no one heard yet. But I did. It hit like a sucker punch to the gut, the kind you feel in your bones. Failure. The word she'd whispered to me since we were kids, back when I covered for her shoplifting Barbies from the corner store, or when I lied to Dad about the dent in his Chevy from her joyride. I'd always swallowed it, because that's what big sisters do. Protect the baby. Fix the brakes. But this time, as her words slithered into my ear, I saw Victor Kane across the room. He was Elena's boss, the silver fox of Kane Financial, 50-something with a jawline like chiseled granite and eyes that promised deals in smoke-filled rooms. He wasn't family, but Elena had insisted he come. Networking, she called it, batting her lashes at Mom like it was normal to bring your predatory mentor to turkey dinner. Victor wasn't smiling at the jokes, he was watching us, his lips curling in a way that wasn't amusement. It was hunger. Recognition. Like he'd just spotted the weak link in a chain he planned to snap. I excused myself, fleeing to the back porch where the November chill bit through my sweater. Snow flurries danced under the porch light, and I lit a cigarette, my one vice, hidden from the family like everything else. That's when Elena followed, all faux apology now, her arms wrapping around me from behind. Jojo, I didn't mean it. It's just pressure at work. Victor's riding me hard for that promotion. Jojo. The nickname from when we shared a room, whispering secrets under the covers. I wanted to believe her, wanted to melt into that hug like old times. But even then, something felt off, the way her perfume was too strong, masking the lie. What promotion? I asked, exhaling smoke into the night. She pulled back, her face illuminated by the porch bulb, eyes gleaming. The big one. Compliance director. But there's complications. Audits. Missing funds. Victor thinks I can fix it, but I need time. Missing funds. The phrase hung there, innocent as mistletoe, but it rooted in my gut like kudzu. Elena had always been the gambler, Vegas weekends on the company card, investments in crypto that sounded like Ponzi schemes. I'd bailed her out before, co-signing loans she never repaid. But this smelled like felony territory. Time for what? I pressed, but she just kissed my cheek and breezed back inside, leaving me with the cold and the echo of failure. The rest of the night blurred, for small talk with Uncle Ray about my career, Mom's worried glances, Dad's drunken toast to family first. Victor lingered, shaking hands with a grip like a vice, his eyes flicking to me whenever Elena laughed too loud. When he finally cornered me by the coat rack, slipping on his Burberry overcoat, he said, Josephine, right? Elena speaks so highly of you. The Rock. The Fixer. There was again that smile. Not warm. Not polite. It was the smile of a man who'd appraised a pawnshop diamond and found it flawed just enough to undervalue. She exaggerates, I muttered, grabbing my jacket. He chuckled, low and gravelly, like tires on black ice. Modesty's a rare commodity these days. But loyalty? Priceless. Your sister's lucky to have you. Then he was gone, his Mercedes purring away into the snow-dusted street, leaving me with a chill that had nothing to do with the weather. I drove home buzzed and bitter, the radio droning some country ballad about lost love and second chances. By morning, the hook was set. A frantic call from Elena at 6 a.m. Joe, it's bad. The auditors found discrepancies, transfers I authorized but forgot to document. Victor's furious. If this leaks, I'm done. Discrepancies. Code for I cooked the books. Kane Financial was a mid-tier firm handling pensions for blue-collar unions. The kind of place where one bad quarter meant layoffs and lawsuits. Embezzlement? That was a one-way ticket to Club Fed. What do you need? I asked, already knowing I'd regret it. That's the Harlan curse, bleeding for kin. Her voice cracked, theatrical tears I could hear from a mile away. Just sign this. It's a backdated compliance form. Makes it look like you reviewed the accounts as my consultant. You're a paralegal. It'll hold up. Please.
Yeah.
For family. I should have hung up. Should have driven to the DA's office and spilled it all. But family parties leave you soft, full of turkey and nostalgia. So I met her at a Starbucks off I-90. Signed the damn thing with a pen that shook in my hand. She hugged me fierce, whispering, "You're the best sister ever. I owe you my life." Lies taste like ash, even in vanilla lattes. The fallout came swift as a Midwest storm. 2 weeks later, FBI agents swarmed my apartment, badges flashing like lightning. "Josephine Harlan, you're under arrest for wire fraud and embezzlement." The evidence? My signature on those forms. IP logs from my work computer, which Elena had borrowed once. And a paper trail leading straight to a Cayman account I'd never touched. $500,000. Siphoned from retiree funds to cover Elena's investments, crypto scams, and high-roller debts. In interrogation, they played the tape, Elena's voice, cool as cucumber, testifying that I'd pressured her into the scheme. Joe was desperate, bills piling up, bad breakup. She said it was victimless, just shuffling numbers. Victor backed her. His deposition a masterclass in corporate sleaze. MS. Harlan posed as a consultant. We trusted her credentials.
Trusted.
The word burned. My lawyer, a public defender with coffee stains on his tie, pleaded it down to 15 years at minimum security in Alderson, West Virginia. Mom visited once. Sobbing about mistakes, Dad sent postcards with Steelers scores. Elena? A single letter. "Forgive me, Jojo."
It was him or me.
Victor made me choose. Victor. The smile at the party flashed in my mind. That predatory curl. He'd flipped her like a pancake, using the betrayal to consolidate power. Rumors in the yard, whispered over contraband cigarettes, said Kane Financial got a bailout post-scandal. Elena promoted to cover his ass. They were untouchable, sipping martinis while I broke rocks in the laundry. Prison hardens you, turns water to whiskey. I spent nights in my bunk, mapping it out on stolen legal pads. Names, dates, leverage. The secret Elena buried? Not just the money. It was Dad's pension, stolen to seed her schemes. He died of a heart attack 6 months before the arrest, convinced his golden girl was set for life. Mom sold the house to pay my appeals, now renting a trailer in Akron. The crime I bore? It killed our family, splinter by splinter. Parole came early, good behavior. A bleeding heart judge. Out in 2025, a ghost in baggy jeans and a hoodie, crashing on a cousin's couch in Detroit. No job, no trust fund. Just rage, pure and distilled like moonshine. Revenge isn't a sprint, it's a marathon through the rust. I started small, fake LinkedIn profile as a headhunter, sliding into Victor's DMs with opportunities. He bit. Of course, men like him always do. Coffee at a dive in Midtown, his eyes raking me over like I was fresh meat. Josephine Harlan. The plot twist no one saw coming. "Call me Joe," I said, sipping black coffee that tasted like tar. Water under the bridge. Mr.
Kane.
I've got intel on a competitor, offshore accounts ripe for the picking. He leaned in, that smile again. But now I saw the cracks. Crow's feet from too many all-nighters. A wedding ring polished to hide the divorce filings. What's the catch?
No catch.
Just payback for friend. Elena.
I didn't say.
But he knew. Power recognizes its echoes. We met weekly after that, me feeding him scraps from dark web forums. Him dangling stock tips that lined my burner account. He talked too much. ego inflating like a balloon. Turns out, Victor wasn't the kingpin. He was the puppet. The real strings? Pulled by Elena. Now his indispensable SOO, who'd clawed her way up by burying bodies, mine first. She'd flipped on him too, recording boardroom confessions, ready to sell him out if the feds knocked again. She's a viper, he confessed one rainy night in his corner office overlooking the Detroit River. Whiskey sloshing in crystal tumblers. Saved my ass back then.
But now?
She's gunning for my chair. Got dirt on everyone, me. The board. Even that senator we donated to.
Dirt.
The word was a gold mine. I played the confidant, nodding as he spilled, encrypted drives in his safe, passcodes whispered like sins. All the while, I mirrored his phone, simple phishing email, disguised as a performance review, files downloaded in the dead of night, emails proving Elena's role in the original scam, Victor's cover-up, payoffs to prosecutors for my light sentence. But revenge isn't just data, it's personal. I reached out to Elena next. Anonymous text from a prepaid. Miss you. Jojo. Coffee? Old times sake. She agreed. Wary but vain. Meeting at the same Starbucks, off I-90. She looked older, lines around her eyes from Botox fails. A diamond necklace screaming new money. Joe, she breathed, hugging air. You look
good.
Clean. Prison food'll do that, I quipped, sliding into the booth. How's Victor? Still smiling like he owns the world. Her laugh was brittle, like autumn leaves. Demanding as ever. But we're a team now. You get it, family sticks. Sticks the knife. More like. We dance the dance, small talk about mom's health failing. Dad's grave overgrown. My fresh start bullshit. Then I dropped the hook. Heard you're up for CEO. Congrats.
Just.
Watch your back. Snakes in the grass. She stiffened, eyes narrowing. What do you know? Joe. Enough. I leaned in, voice a whisper. Remember the forms? The ones that bought your freedom? Color drained from her face. But she rallied. That old Harlan fire. That was survival. Victor, he pushed me. Said it'd ruin us both if I didn't throw you under. Liar. The recording said otherwise. But I let her spin. Let her beg for forgiveness over cooling lattes. Help me, she pleaded. Get me those files Victor's hoarding. I'll cut you in, half the payout when I take over. Half. Always half with Elena, half the blame, half the love. I nodded, playing the sucker one last time. For family, the plan coalesced like storm clouds over Lake Erie. I'd stage a leak, anonymous drop to the SEC, timed for the firm's holiday gala. But twist it personal, invite the whole Harlan clan, make it a spectacle.
Mom.
The aunts. Even cousin Timmy. Let them see the golden child tarnish. Victor was easy. A surprise for Elena, he'd said, booking the ballroom at the Renaissance Center. Elena? She'd flip when she saw me on the guest list. Joe Harlan. +1 to the boss. Gala night. December 2025. Detroit glittered below. The river a black ribbon threaded with freighter lights. I wore a thrift store gown. Black as midnight. Hair pinned up to hide the scars, literal and not. Mom clutched my arm in the lobby, whispering, "This is fancy."
Joe.
You sure about this? Trust me, I said, kissing her papery cheek. The family mingled awkwardly amid suits and gowns. Dad's absence a ghost at the punch bowl. Elena spotted me across the room, her red dress a slash of blood. Ironic.
That.
She froze mid-laugh, Victor's hand on her lower back. He followed her gaze, smile faltering into something feral. Josephine, he boomed, striding over with Elena in tow. What a reunion. Toasting old flames. The band struck up Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and the room buzzed, family eyes on us, whispers rippling like wind through corn. Elena's face was a mass cracking, fury, fear, forced smile.
Yo.
This is unexpected. Thought I'd return the favor, I said, clinking my champagne flute against hers. To family. And second chances. Victor's eyes darted, calculating exits. Allies. He pulled me aside, breath hot with scotch. Clever girl. But leaks don't stick without proof. And proof? That's in my safe. Bluff called. Time to flip the board. I nodded to the shadows, where my date, a hacker buddy from Yard Time, posing as catering, slipped the drive into a waiter's pocket. But the real bomb? Not data. It was blood. As speeches droned, Victor's toast to loyalty above all, I stepped to the mic. Uninvited. Heart pounding like a jackhammer. Ladies and gentlemen. Family.
Friends.
Tonight's not about deals. It's about debts. Gasps rippled. Elena's wineglass slipped, shattering like trust. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. I hit play on the hidden projector, my phone linked via Bluetooth. Not just files, audio. Elena's voice. From that Starbucks meet, it was survival. Victor pushed me. Victor's deposition. Twisted. She posed as consultant. And the kicker, Dad's pension statements. Drained to zero. The room erupted. Board members bolted for doors. Phones out. Elena lunged, nails raking my arm. You bitch. This is betrayal. Mirror. Sister. I snarled, shoving her back. Victor grabbed her. Not to help, to restrain. Hissing. You set me up too? She whirled on him, mascara streaking. Me? You framed Joe first, to cover your insider trades. Flip. The snake eating its tail. The family watched. Polarized, aunts defending Elena. She's always been the smart one. Cousin Timmy muttering. Knew she was shady. Mom wept. Torn between daughters. No heroes here, just Harlan's clawing in the dirt. Security swarmed, but I was done. Slipping out a side door. Snow whipping my face. I heard sirens wail. Feds. Tipped by my anonymous call. Victor and Elena, cuffed together in the chaos. Screaming accusations. Polarizing? Hell yes. Was I the victim turned villain? Or the fixer finally breaking free? Readers, hell. My own blood would debate it over turkey for years. But the twist? As I vanished into the Detroit night, burner phone buzzing with a text from Elena. You win. Jojo. But check the safe. One last gift from family. I didn't go back. Burned the phone. Hitched a ride west toward the California coast. Mom's tearful voicemail, my only anchor. The safe? Probably another lie. Another hook. Or maybe proof that cleared me fully, implicating a bigger fish. Some Wall Street whale. Happy ending? If freedom counts. Yeah. Tragic? When your revenge orphans your soul.
Me?
I'm driving into the sunrise. Radio blasting Springsteen. Wondering if the failure was ever me, or just the blood we can't wash off. In the end, family parties teach you, smiles hide fangs. And sometimes, the real shock is surviving the bite. Wait, no. That can't be right. I stopped at a gas station outside Toledo. The kind with flickering fluorescents and a clerk who eyed me like I might bolt with the Slim Jims. The text from Elena gnawed at me, a loose thread in the sweater of my escape. One last gift. Classic her, dangling carrots laced with hemlock. But curiosity's a Harlan trait, stubborn as Ohio clay. I bought a burner, punched in the number from memory. No answer. Just voicemail, her voice, polished for clients, now edged with desperation.
Joe.
If you're hearing this, you know what you did. The gala? Front page tomorrow. But the safe, code's 1123. Dad's birthday. Inside, your exoneration. And mine. Don't hate me forever.
Hate?
I'd bottled it into something sharper. Resolve. By dawn, I was back in Detroit, ghosting through Victor's brownstone in Indian Village, a restored Victorian he'd bought post-divorce. All exposed brick and ego. The neighbor's dog barked once. I tossed it a burger patty laced with Benadryl.
Easy.
The safe squatted in his study, behind a Rothko print that screamed, I'm cultured. Fuck you. Code clicked. 1-1-2-3. It swung open, revealing stacks of cash, laundered greenbacks. Irony not lost, and a thumb drive labeled insurance. Plugged into a laptop, I wiped clean after. The files unfolded like a house of cards, emails chaining Victor to a ring of union busting. Elena's signatures on dummy core funneling funds to offshore shells. And buried deep, a confession video. Victor drunk dialing his ex. Framed the sister to protect her girl.
Babe.
Elena's clean. Harlan's the fall guy.
Clean.
The word ignited something feral. But the real gut punch? A second file. Medical records. Mom's. Stage 3 breast cancer. Diagnosed pre-arrest. Elena knew, had the connections for experimental trials at Cleveland Clinic. But the cost? $200K upfront. She'd embezzled Dad's pension to pay it, then pinned it on me when the heat came. For Mom. The betrayal deepened, roots twisting into forgiveness's corpse. Elena hadn't just saved her skin, she'd bought Mom time. 3 years I'd rotted while she played savior. Controversial? You bet, hero or whore. The line blurred like rain on a windshield. I copied it all. Emailed to my public defender, CC'd the DA.
Sick.
Even a reporter at the Plain Dealer. Then torched the originals in Victor's fireplace, watching flames dance like gala chandeliers. As sirens wailed closer, my tip-off, I slipped out, hitching to Ann Arbor for a bus ticket west. Mom met me at a Greyhound depot in Chicago, her frame swallowed by a parka. Chemo-thin but eyes fierce. Josephine Marie Harlan. What in God's name? We hugged in the terminal din. Bus exhaust and tears mingling. Over bad coffee at a diner. I spilled gala. Files. The gift. She listened, face crumpling. Your sister. She told me it was you who stole for my treatments. Said you confessed in a letter. Lies upon lies. Mom's hand trembled on mine. I believed her. Sold the house thinking it was penance for raising thieves. The ache bloomed fresh. And now?
Now?
We fight. Together. Her grip tightened, knuckles like bird bones. But Elena, she's still blood.
Blood.
The curse again. We boarded the bus to California, me.
Mom.
A duffel of regrets. San Francisco. Tech boomtown where Harlans could vanish into the fog. I landed a gig waitressing at a dive in the Mission. Tips fat from bros nursing IPA heartaches. Mom got into a trial at UCSF. Funded legit this time, crowdfund from the plain dealer story. The Framed Sisters' Revenge. Headlines spun it sensational. Rust Belt betrayal. Exec duo cuffed at gala. Elena and Victor. Indicted. Out on bail but toxic. Board ousted them. Assets frozen. Elena called once. From a lawyer's line. Jojo. You destroyed us. But thanks for Mom. I hung up.
Destruction?
Or justice served cold. Months blurred. Mom's good days. Walks in Golden Gate Park. Sourdough from Boudin, bad ones. Me holding her hair over the toilet. Elena's trial loomed. Tabloids feasting. She flipped again, testified against Victor for immunity, painting him the mastermind. He coerced me, she sobbed on the stand.
Oscar-worthy.
My sister? Innocent pawn. Victor seethed in orange. Flipping back. Liar. She orchestrated it all, used Joe as the patsy. The courtroom circus polarized the nation. Fox calling Elena femme fatale feminist, CNN dubbing Victor corporate caveman.
Me?
A footnote. The vindicated victim who sparked the fire. But tension simmered. One fog-shrouded night. A knock at our Haight-Ashbury walk-up. Elena. Gaunt in a trench coat.
No muck-up.
Eyes hollow. Truce, she whispered. Rain dripping from her hair. Mom buzzed her in. Ever the peacemaker. We sat at the Formica table. Herbal tea steaming like peace pipes. Elena's story poured. Victor's abuse, emotional. Financial, pushing her to the edge. The embezzlement? For Mom.
Yes.
But he knew.
Used it to control me.
Framing you. It was his idea, but I signed off. Weak.
Weak.
The word she'd hurled at me. Now it fit her like a noose. I wanted to rage, to shatter the teacup. Instead, why the gift, the safe?
She met my eyes.
First time without guile. Redemption. Or suicide pact. Either way, we burned together. Mom reached for her hand. Girls. Enough. But enough's a myth in Harlan lore. Elena stayed a week nursing Mom, cooking spaghetti like childhood Sundays. Laughter crept in, tentative as dawn. Then the call, her lawyer. Deal finalized. Immunity for full confession. Come to the hearing, she begged me. Witness it. I went. Flying coach to Cleveland. Mom safe with a neighbor. The courthouse loomed. Same sterile halls where I'd pled out. Elena on the stand. Voice steady. I betrayed my sister to survive a monster. Josephine took the fall for my sins, for our mother's life. Victor glowered from the defense table. Flipping one last time. Guilty plea for lesser charges. Ratting on bigger fish, a senator. A union boss. The judge banged gavel. Victor to 10 years. Elena walks but disbarred.
Broke.
Outside. Under gray skies. She hugged me. We're even. Not even close. But I didn't pull away. Blood's thick. Forgiving thicker. Back in SF. Twist hit like aftershock. Mom scanned remission. We celebrated with clam chowder on the wharf. Gulls wheeling overhead. Elena wired half her settlement, enough for a down payment on a bungalow in Oakland. For family, the note read. Happy? In fragments. I enrolled in night classes, law. This time for real. Elena vanished to Seattle. starting over with a barista gig. Victor rotted in Chillicothe, penning a tell-all no one bought. But the debate? It lingers. Was Elena's flip redemption or cowardice? Victor's the villain. Sure, but me? The avenger who almost orphaned her own blood. Readers pick sides. Harlan's just survive. One night, scrolling X on my phone, a thread explodes. Was Joe Harlan a hero or homewrecker? Comments rage, feminists cheering sister solidarity, conservatives decrying family anarchy. I laugh. Dark and free. And text Elena. See? We're infamous. Her reply. Wouldn't have it any other way. Jojo. The river runs on. Rust to gold. And me? I'm no failure. Just the fixer who finally fixed herself. San Francisco's fog has a way of swallowing secrets, turning sharp edges soft. 6 months post-trial, and the Harlan sagas faded from headlines, replaced by AI scandals and election mudslinging. Mom's bungalow bloats with succulents and thrift knickknacks. Her laugh echoes stronger. Chemo a ghost in the rearview.
Me?
Day shifts at the diner yield to paralegal stints at a nonprofit, pro bono for the framed, the forgotten. Irony's my new cologne. Elena's in Seattle. Or so she claims. Sporadic texts. Raining cats here. Miss your chowder. Photos of Pike Place fish tossers. Never her face. I don't push. Distance is our détente. Then, autumn 2026. A package arrives, no return address. Postmarked Cleveland. Inside, a manila envelope. Yellowed like old lies. Documents. Notarized, Dad's will. Revised pre-death. Not the pittance I'd assumed, hidden assets. A trust from his steel mill days. Earmarked for my girls. Equal shares. Elena knew. Hid it to fund the schemes. Letting me rot while she played pauper. Rage flares. Old friend. I call her burner. Voicemail. It's done.
Joe.
The trust's yours, lawyers en route. Use it well.
Love. Lena. Done.
As if betrayal's a checkbox. The lawyer confirms, $750K. Tax-free. Enough to quit the grind. Start a firm, Harlan and Harlan. Restitution specialists. But the twist uncoils deeper. Buried in the envelope, a letter. Elena's scrawl. Jojo. If you're reading this, Victor's book dropped. Betrayal in the boardroom. He's naming names, including a ghost from our past. Remember Uncle Ray? The jokes at parties? Hands too long on little girls? He didn't die in that car wreck. 8. Faked it. Resurfaced as Ray Harlan, union fixer for Victor's schemes. Dad knew, confronted him, got the trust as hush money. I found out post-arrest, used it for Mom. Framed you to bury the secret forever. Victor's flipping again, testifying for the feds. Outing Ray for leverage. But Ray's coming for blood.
Us.
Watch your back. Forgive? Probably not. But understand, I was broken long before Victor. You fixed what you could. Your failure of a sister. Elena. Broken. The word lands like shrapnel. Uncle Ray, leering at barbecues. Accidental brushes I'd dismissed as boomer bullshit.
Elena.
Younger. Quieter then. Had she? The letter doesn't say. But the gaps scream. I wire the feds. Anonymous tip. Ray's aliases from Victor's book leaks. Detroit PD raids a dive bar. Ray cuffed. Snarling about family loyalty. Turns out, he orchestrated the original embezzlement nudge, pressuring Victor to pin it on me. Knowing Elena's weak spot, Mom. The web tightens. Ray to Elena. To Victor.
To me.
A circle of vipers. Biting tails. Elena's gift wasn't just cash, it was the noose for them all. She calls that night. Voice whiskey rough. You get it. All of it. Silence stretches. Fog thick. Why not tell me sooner?
Fear. Shame.
Pick one. A pause. Cough. Smoker's hack.
Joe.
I'm sick. Liver. From the stress. The pills. Docs give me months. The world tilts. Betrayer to the bedridden. Come here, I say. Unthinking. Mom needs you. I can't. Feds want me as witness. Ray's trial.
And.
There's more. Her breath hitches. The trust? Half's tainted. Ray's dirty money. If you take it, you're in the crosshairs. Choice. Tainted fortune or clean slate. Controversial as hell. Use the devil's gold for good. Or burn it and stay broke. I think of Mom's scans. My fledgling firm. We'll launder it legit. Donate the rest. She laughs. Wet and weak. Always the fixer. Elena's flight lands in San Francisco Airport a week later. Frail in yoga pants and a beanie. Mom weeps at arrivals, hugging her like fragile glass. We drive to the bungalow. Radio low on NPR, some debate on corporate greed. Ironic soundtrack. Rehab's brutal. Seattle docs ship her records. It's cirrhosis from years of downers to dull the memories. Uncle Ray's ghost haunts. Therapy sessions where Elena whispers horrors I never knew. He started at 12, she confesses one night. Wine replaced by ginger ale. Dad found out. Built the trust to silence him. I protected you by not telling. Thought ignorance was kindness. Ignorance. My prison sentence's architect. But as she curls on the couch, for dripping, I see the child scared, scheming to survive. No villain, just victims in viper skin. Victor's trial streams live. Ray takes the fall. 25 to life for fraud. Assault. The works. Victor walks lighter, house arrest. Book deal ballooning. He sends a note via lawyer. Well played, Josephine. But family's a bitch. Ain't it?
Bitch.
But
Kettle.
I frame it. Wall art in my new office. Harlan Restitution. Oakland. First client. A Latina mom framed for welfare fraud. Pro bono. Trust funded. Elena's good days. Beach walks in Pacifica. Her arm in mine. Mom trailing with a thermos. Bad ones. Delirium. Calling me dad. Begging forgiveness from graves. We talk twists. The gala's polarization. Online forums still raging. Elena's a survivor. Versus. Enabler scum. They're half right, she murmurs. Sunset gilding her gaunt face. We all are. Thanksgiving rolls. 2026. Not a party, just us three. Turkey thawed from Trader Joe's. Table set with Dad's old china. No Victor smiles. No failure barbs. Elena raises her glass. Water. Clear as absolution. To Harlan's. Messy. But ours. We clink. Tears salting the gravy. Is it happy? Bittersweet as pie. Mom's cancer-free. Elena stabilizing on the trial.
Me?
Firms thriving. Scars fading to stories. But the final twist? As snow flurries tease the bay, impossible. But magic happens. Elena's phone buzzes. Unknown. Ray's appealing. Needs your testimony, or else. The cycle beckons. Vipers don't die, they shed. I delete it. Block the number. Ignore, I say. She nods. But her eyes, hazel, haunted, flicker with the old fire. Will she flip again?
Testify.
Betray anew? Or burn the bridge for good? Readers, you debate. Redemption's real. Or just another scheme.
Me?
I choose the fog. The family forged in fire. We're no saints. But in America's grind, rust, rain, relentless, we endure. The end?
Nah.
Harlan's don't end. We rewrite.